The Todd Shapiro Show, Canada Laughs, SiriusXM 168.
In the meantime, we have Marco Streng, the CEO and founder of Genesis Mining. Hey, Marco.
Hey, thanks for having me in the show.
Thanks, man. Nice and close to the mic, if you wouldn't mind. Real close to the mic.
Sure.
And Nigel Holmes is here. Been on the show a few times. I think there's a red light there. How you doing, dude?
Doing pretty good. Thanks, buddy.
How's this, Marco from Genesis Mining? You've been in the space for how long now?
Well, I think more than 6 years for now. That's, yeah. I mean, I think probably as soon as I got sucked in, I never had a chance to get anywhere out because this is just such an exciting space. And when you're in, really, then you realize that really the world is changing in this economy and in this ecosystem. And it's literally like at the beginning of the internet, and the world is changing, and yeah, amazing.
Why'd you get sucked in the first place?
Well, I was very interested because I just saw that the technology, blockchain technology. I mean, it all started with Bitcoin, but the technology behind it, the blockchain technology, was just bringing some real innovation and some big benefits to the world that really can make the world a better place. And that concretely means, for example, that you have more transparency on blockchain. Blockchain is kind of a layer in a environment, in a market where people don't need to trust each other, but everyone can rely on the blockchain. So no one needs to trust anyone, and everyone can trust the system. And that's something that's very great because systems that require people to trust someone can fail because this entity that can be trusted can fail. And we have seen that so often in human history. Just the banks, for example, in the financial crisis and all that big catastrophes that a lot of them that happened were based on systems that had this element, this failing element of trust, and you can knock that out. And yeah, that's just exciting.
And it's interesting because there is such trust within this community, and you see it. You see how passionate people are. You see how people want to help each other out. They want to educate. That's the biggest thing, I think, in the communities. They do genuinely want other people to learn about the transparency, about the community feel, about the fact that you have free market, you can take control of your own wealth, the fact that your wealth can be now done anywhere across the world. You don't have to worry about bank fees or e-transfers or all this kind of stuff. But the ironic part to me is that most media make it seem like it's not a trusting industry. There's a lot of fear mongering going on, hacking, things like that. Yeah. Why do you think that is still, that they haven't caught on and promoted it with a little more passion or even research?
Sure, yeah, that's a good point. I mean, all these news about fear and concerns, and of course there are valid concerns, but what people don't sometimes understand is that these things, like for example an exchange when it got hacked or so, those are vulnerabilities not in the system, but that is in the implementation, which is the human factor. So the exchanges are mostly centralized entities that are building the bridge from the normal world, basically from the fiat world to the crypto world. And they can fail because they are implemented by human beings. So they are not based on the blockchain, but the system itself, the cryptocurrencies or the blockchains, they are the secure ones. So I think it's just people are getting to understand the space more, and every day more and more people are learning about it, and I think that's really great. And in conferences like today, you're seeing that 8,000 people are there. Everyone is really cheering, and they're coming from all over the world wanting to learn more. And I think this is really, I'm very happy to see that.
Great, congrats. Genesis Mining, tell us a little bit about that company, how it started, and the success behind it.
Sure. So we started, actually it got started from my student dorm.
That's awesome.
I mean, at the beginning, no one knew, or no one could have ever expected that we were playing such an important role in this ecosystem, and that it will be so big so quickly. And I mean, in the end, what Genesis Mining did was, I mean, shortly put, the blockchain transactions are validated by miners, and miners are basically people that have computing power standing somewhere in data centers or at their homes, and they are validating the transaction in a decentralized way. And that's the big innovation behind it, because you don't have a centralized validator. Like, for example, in MasterCard or Visa, you trust MasterCard or Visa that the transactions are getting validated correctly. But in the blockchain space, you have the decentralized miners. and I had one of these mining rigs in my student dorm, and um, my girlfriend by that time was complaining because this machine made a lot of noise and was very hot too. And I mean, we were living on a 13 square meter student dorm and student accommodation, and it was so loud. And but you know, I mean, she was saying, hey, what is that for? You know, and I said, well, this machine is validating transactions in blockchain. It's making literally money. It's creating bitcoins. And yeah, I mean, but she didn't understand it so well, this economic aspect. That in the end, I mean, she only felt that the heat, you know, it was like a sauna atmosphere in our student dorm, and it was really loud. So especially in the night, I always had to argue against. I said, oh, I had to kind of judge and balance between making money or an angry girlfriend.
Well, I mean, usually if you can make some more money, they're not as angry. But I mean, it's also that now it even gets more confusing. And at that time, what how much could you mine in value? With just a simple machine and early on.
Yeah, I mean, the crazy thing is that uh, in the really early times, I mean, Bitcoin was below $1. I mean, now we are at yeah, 8,000, around $10,000. So it's just crazy looking back, and all these coins that you were generated in these early days. If you stick to them and you held them, of course, that gained value a lot. And as the prices were going up, it really created a whole gold rush. It's really, I think this is the best analogy because really the people were. Even then I realized it in the dorm, and one time I woke up and I saw, holy shit, this can't be true. Bitcoin, for example, end of 2013 went from $100 to $1,000 in 1 month. So and Litecoin and other cryptocurrencies, Litecoin went from $1 to 30. So suddenly these machines made an enormous amount of money, and they're just doing that on an ongoing basis overnight, etc. So I think I just thought, no, this is incredible. We have to this world is just moving right now. It's changing, and we have to really act, and we have to make that big. So we have to build multiples, thousands of these machines and validate these blockchains. And that's what we did then. I called my partners, and we decided to open the first data center in the Eastern Europe. It was a crazy time by then because we had to kind of hide this data center because it was so much value, and we were somewhere in Bosnia where like it was war before, and we had to be careful that we are protected. So yeah,
Wow.
we told the people that somehow this is a laundry, or in any way we tried to find an argument of saying, because they were wondering what is happening in that building. You know, all the trucks are coming in, and we didn't want to say it's very expensive gear. So
They probably thought
and
you were drug runners, but so you're bringing in mining rigs,
yeah.
and this all started from the one in your dorm, and then how? So Genesis Mining, how many mining rigs would they have now?
Well, I mean, yeah, we're far. I can't say the specific number,
Okay.
but we're really like consuming with multiple power plants of capacity of just electricity consumptions that are needed to process these transactions. And yeah, it's just crazy. I remember after Eastern
Whole
Europe,
story.
we went to Iceland, and Iceland is a small island, but they have cheap electricity. And we came in there, and we said we need a lot of electricity, but at the start it was still yeah, not too much, you know. So the people were kind of laughing at us, say, look at these guys. But now actually we have such a power demand that is bigger than the whole island consumes. So it's just, it all
You
took
use more
over.
Genesis Mining than the rest. Are there some contraindications to that? Do people get upset sometimes? They think it's a waste of energy. I mean, is that ever sort of a complaint that you might hear?
Sure, right. Yeah, I mean, to some part it's valid too. But what people, I mean, at the moment, blockchains consume that, and this is just the price you have to take to run these blockchains. I also don't think it's a big problem because we really have enough power in the world. I mean, there's the sun, so you can build mining facilities next to some solar farms. You can put them below a hydro dam. You can put them near a geothermal source. or windmill or yeah, wind
There's
power.
solutions.
Yeah, so there's enough really green energy also to use. So the good thing is these data centers can stand really at the end of the world somewhere. You just have to have good internet connection, and then you can use the power, and that's great. So you can use over access capacity to power these blockchains.
And on top of it, I guess you're paying taxes. You're paying for energy consumption, so you're helping a place like Iceland, I would imagine, get some revenues.
Absolutely right. And you're employing people. You're bringing technology. We're building research and development centers near our data centers. Of course, we have to train people about new technology. So for the government and for the countries, I think it's great.
So are you a bit of a rock star here at Consensus then? Are you? I mean, is there? Yeah, Nigel, you can answer that. Yeah.
Yes, I think so.
No, I mean, people getting your pictures, people wanting to meet you, get autographs and things like that, or Instagram posts and stuff.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think that everyone that is kind of like in this space since 5 to 6 years or longer are really like, I mean, we grew up in, so to speak. I mean, we were dancing around on these conferences by that time that consisted of like 15 to 20 people that were just passionate and debating in the backyards about this new innovation, this new technology. And now we have like 8,000 people, and everyone wants to learn about blockchain. And we have big players like Microsoft, Deloitte, and or whatever. I mean, all these big companies all are leveraging on blockchain now, and we knew that it's going to change the world, but we never thought that it's going to do it to make it so quickly and to that extent. And
good looking guy, also lady. I mean, ladies probably wanting your autograph.
Sure.
Any lady ever sign certain areas? No.
Well, there is not many women in the blockchain space.
That's for sure. I was at a party last night. It was 99% dudes. Anyway, no, I stayed because I'm married, so it didn't matter. But
yeah, well, which is good. I mean, it doesn't. It's not so much distraction then, So.
Exactly. Everyone can focus on work and talking business. It's an amazing story from the one machine to this massive company called Genesis Mining, and obviously being to me it always relates back to people finding their passion in life. And like when you started that, you were like, I said this to you the other night, but you were just like kind of like a tech geeky guy, right? Like you're just like a geeky dude who found your passion, but made it into this massive corporation.
Well, I mean, I was really passionate about mathematics. I liked programming, and I was very happy before, but
you're like
course,
you're Goodwill hunting. That's you're
I mean,
I want to.
I mean, it
Goodwill hunting.
I read about it, and somehow, I don't know, it really it got me very much interested. And I think I fully agree with what you just said. I think the most important thing in life is to follow the passion, and by following that interest and passion, that drives you somewhere in the right direction. And when you do that, you're automatically very happy. So and when you found that, I think this is great, because then you have a very fulfilling life, and that it got me into that space. I'm happy, but I mean, it somehow I just followed my interest.
You're a super humble guy, and super successful, which is awesome. But a lot of people look up to you, and I've heard and read so many great things. I watched some of your TED Talk stuff you did. Actually, I saw the story where you programmed an alarm to go off that would go off when Bitcoin went to that $1,000, and you woke up, and that was the story, right?
It was a horrible night, because it was like at 3 a.m. or so. My girlfriend was beating me again, was saying, "What's happening here now?" It was like this computer beep, and when you boot a computer, this beep, 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 beep. So I programmed when it hits 1,000, full alarm, and everyone was shaking and waking up and saying, "What is happening here?" And I couldn't believe it's really the Bitcoin price that triggered the alarm, but I was happy.
To the $1,000 mark, starting on the $1 mark, mining. Unbelievable. Now, as humble as you are, a good-looking cat and stuff, do you have the Lambo? Because that's the big crypto car. You don't have to answer, but
Well, I don't know. I didn't have time to focus on spending my money on Lambos or private jets or something.
So you're not like the you see Dan in America, like a guy like Dan Bilzerian. I don't know if he necessarily got rich on Bitcoin and stuff, but like they flaunt that stuff in your face. Your community maybe not as much.
Yeah, no, I think we have a high responsibility now. We're still at its infancy. This whole economy is just getting built, And I think maybe there's time to think about that at a later stage or so.
I would have given up at like a couple of mil. I would have fucked off at a couple of mil. Aaron Berg, do you have any do you have any questions for the space? Do you know anything?
Yeah, how do I get super rich?
Okay.
That's the question that everyone brings into the space right now.
What is Bitcoin selling for now?
Let me check. Actually, you know, I'm not. I think
8,500.
8,500 American. Nigel Holmes
And
hanging
you
out
bought
with
it
us.
for $1.
Well, I mean, mining and lots of money. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I bet money. It's a
What did he
company.
buy? 1 Bitcoin, so he made $7,500.
That's how rich he is.
$84.99.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing. So, should I?
For comedians, that's like a year.
Hey, but we're still at the beginning. It's
Do you
everything's
play
just happening now.
Other money markets too, or are those like negligible for you? Do you get involved in the stock market now?
Yeah, you know, I'm really not in it for a quick buck or for making the primarily trading money in any way. We have a important role to play as the backbone, as the mining provider in this space, powering all these blockchains.
Yeah.
And that's what our passion is, and that's what we're following. And of course, success and money, and if that is coming. But the most important thing is that this ecosystem is growing, and it's growing stable, and that drives me every day. And this is what I'm really.
So you see a guy like Todd who's like so intrigued by the system and wants to be involved in it, and wants to run in your guys' circles and possibly be the mayor of Bosnia one day. So like he's you know, what do you call him? Like he's a newbie. Would somebody take him under their wing? Would you like mentor him and be like, here's what to do? Because I think he's looking for that.
I think I got to pay him 15% now, though. Okay.
Really? How do these young guys that are getting in the game? How do they learn about it?
You know,
Is it trial
just
and
interrupt
error?
you. He's 28. I'm 45. Not young.
Yeah, but
young.
you're a young Bitcoin miner.
I'm a
right?
young, yes, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, well, I don't have a rig, but I know actually one of
Oh.
my friends has a rig, which is why I got into it 2 years ago. It's just like one of my, a buddy who runs just a cabling company, and he started buying some rigs and stuff. So
Oh, great.
that's really what my buddy Ed, if he's listening, he's a good dude.
Yeah,
But
nice. So you're contributing to the ecosystem, and you're validating transactions.
Yeah,
Wow.
I mean, I
That's
invest. I mean,
great.
I've done some well in some trades. I bought like Binance Coin, and I bought like Verge Coin when it was 4 cents, flipped it at 35 cents. Yeah, I had some fun doing this
Nice.
stuff. Yeah, actually, we have a thing with Coinberry. They're like just a sort of a gateway into the space. They only trade in Bitcoin and Ethereum. They're doing a $500 giveaway right now for people. Just sign up to a Coinberry account, coinberry.com, and if you sign up and follow them on Twitter at Coinberry IO, all you got to do, and then you qualify, and we're giving that prize out Thursday, $500 worth of Bitcoin to sort of start you having fun in the space.
That's great.
Sign up, dude.
I'll sign up.
But I mean, you follow markets and stuff. You day trade a
Yeah,
little bit, right?
I just have money invested, and then I make money gradually. I have someone that does it for me, but I don't. I bought into IUDs right after Trump became the president, because this guy goes, he's going to take Planned Parenthood away. You got to invest in IUDs. So I bought it at $40 a share. Within 2 months, it was down to $6 a share.
Oh,
And I was like, why did I listen to this idiot? It's Rob Mayu. Do you remember him?
I don't know
He's a
if I know.
Canadian comic. And I was
Okay.
like, why did I listen to this poor comic? And I bought $40 a share. It's finally rebounded to like $21 a share. But I
Yeah, maybe not good investment advice from comics.
yeah, comics. Invest in microphones that don't smell. That's not a thing.
It's not a thing at
Yeah,
all.
I'd like to make more money.
Yeah, I mean, look in the crypto space, but it's not only about the money. And I think that's what people are
Yeah.
slowly realizing. That's what the media makes you want to think. Listen, we heard from Josh Crum, our buddy, and he talked about it as a commodity, Bitcoin being a commodity. And people would never really think that, because a commodity is typically something that's tangible and you hold on to or can hold on to. And it's fascinating. And I do this all the time. I implore everyone to get involved, understand the space. Because Marco, in your best guesstimate, you know far better than I, this thing's probably not going away anywhere, is it?
I mean, now it's even much clearer than it was 5 years ago, whether it will ever go away. And of course, so many people know about it now. I mean, the benefits are clear. So many apps are developed now based on blockchain. So many passionate developers are committed. Yeah, I think it's a clear thing.
Aaron, you'll be happy to know soon prenups will be on a smart contract on a blockchain. So you can,
Really?
yeah.
I found this place online where you can get an internet divorce for $149. But I'm muscling through it. They say the first year is the toughest.
Yeah, I'm year 3. I don't know. But
Yeah.
no, Well, Marco, thank you for your time and great to know Genesis Mining. People can just look, read all the information about it. Is it genesismining.com? Is there info there?
Sure. Yeah, that's our main site, genesis-mining.com. And I think it's great, great for being here. And I think the most important, if I can shout out any message, I think for especially newcomer people, it's important that they really learn and understand about the space. Don't always get attracted too much on short-term gains, or don't expect to make just a quick buck or so. The space is just too much exciting for just a quick profit. There's a lot of money to be made on the side, of course, but the main thing should be really to be passionate about the technology, learn about it, understand it, and then you can go in and do investments or all sorts of things.
I couldn't agree more. It's the technology, and that's what people fail to realize. There's the blockchain technology, and people just associate Bitcoin being that, but there's so much more. And then do due diligence on other coins and stuff, because you have to be careful.
Yeah, I mean, look at the beginning of the internet. I mean, there were a lot of speculators on dot-com bubble companies or so, but in the end, the technology was the big thing. And look at what the internet brought up. So everyone that was passionate about the internet by that time really got, was experiencing all that. And this is the key thing, And speculation is just something that, I don't like too much for if people are just getting into that for speculation reason. The space is too much exciting, and there's too much. Really, the world is changing right now, and it's too big.
I love it. Well, I mean, good sound advice. And again, you're a humble cat, Nigel. Thanks for another great introduction. Nigel's been so good to me, Nigel Holmes. Genesis Mining and Marco Streng. Go and follow him too at Marco_Streng. Is that what it is?
That's right.
On Twitter. And my last question, just before you go, and we're going to get to Don Jameson in a moment. Aaron Berg still hanging out. Jessica Kirsten, by the way, has an audition, and I think had to cancel coming in, but she might call in. My last question for you. Bilal is back in Toronto. He's my producer, and he's older. He's actually older than you. Bilal, how by the way, failed do you feel at life right now? But
yeah.
No, can you? Bilal's still a virgin. Can you build him an alarm to go off when he finally gets laid, so I can celebrate with him? I would love that.
Pussy coin has reached $200.
Thank you to Marco. Thank you to Nigel.
I would put a special alarm if he gets two.
Okay. It's a very quick alarm, though. Thank you again, man. It's really great picking your brain a little bit and sharing this with the audience.
The Todd Shapiro Show, Canada Laughs, SiriusXM 168.